The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
Rumor has it, if you're looking for infotainment, the Great Debaters Contest is where you'll find it. We've pitched camp in Kiambu County. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Mbok. We have Limuru Girls versus St. Francis Girls Mangu. Their motion is a one-party state will curb ethnicity. Mariam, 2 cents on the motion?
You know what? I think the debaters have better 2 cents. We'll listen to them. Proposal number 1, you have 3 minutes.
This is Lena Kerubo from St. Francis Girls Mangu, proposing the motion that a one-party state will curb ethnicity. To begin with, what is a state? A state is a country. What is a one-party state? A one-party state is a situation whereby we have only one political party in the country that has the right to form the government in that country. And now, this is usually based on the Constitution. Now, what about these other political parties in the country? These other political parties are outlawed, but they are either outlawed or they play a minor role in the daily running of the government. What is a party? A party is a group of people that have the same ideologies. And now, what is to curb? To curb is to control something. What is this ethnicity that we are curbing? This ethnicity is the state of belonging to a particular social group whereby they have similar features, such as they have a common language, a common religion, and a common culture. Mudhoni was a bosom friend of mine. And she'll sit and tell me, you know what, girl? I'm going to come up with a vaccine for HIV and AIDS. This epidemic that denied me a father's love, this epidemic that denied me of my mother's love. But unfortunately, she would never live to her dream by bullets. Bullets that were caused by the post-election violence. Bullets that were caused by tribalism. Now, what really brings about this ethnicity? These parties are formed not for the betterment of the country at large, but they are formed by different ethnic groupings from different regions of the country. What if this country had a one-party state whereby this national cake was shared, rather than each and every ethnic group wanting to have this national cake? I would want to quote the former President Moi, who once argued that having a multi-party state will bring about tribalism. And this is what we are seeing. Right from 1992 to 1997 and up to 2007, whereby lives have been lost. I urge you to agree with me that it will be wise if we have a national one-party state, whereby this national cake will be shared by each and every party. Thank you.
Limuru girls will hear your opening statements. You have 3 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, one word seems to drive our national fate: ethnicity. I am Stephanie Mungai, here strongly opposing the motion, a one-party state will curb ethnicity. A single-party system creates autocracy, dictatorship in other words. It is very disheartening when you're not able to express yourself as the Chapter 4 of our new constitution states. It is painful and it is frustrating. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. The moment we have 42 tribes in a country and then we have a one-party state, how do we expect to cater for all these 42 tribes? Definitely, it will create one group dominance, as the leader always favors his group, hence causing conflict. This will definitely promote ethnicity. We do not need a one-party state, and therefore, I oppose the motion. It is common knowledge that in a system, we need to have checks and balances of power. And therefore, a one-party state, it will definitely not curb ethnicity. This is because there is no alternative choices. If the party fails to deliver its manifesto, definitely we need a multi-party system so that we may have checks and balances, that if at all some alternative, some projects, some opinions in the manifesto, they fail, then we'll have some variety because of the many multi-party systems we have. The opposition is vital for checks and balances because it acts as a watchdog. The moment we have a one-party state, there is subsequent curtailment of freedom. And therefore, the opposition party will keep the government in tows in order to ensure that the different needs of the different communities are catered for. Let's look at region balance. We need the concerns of the minority ethnic groups being considered. Thank you.
Cross-examinations now, beginning with the ladies of St. Francis Mangu. You have 3 minutes.
Bernadette Gideu, St. Francis Girls Mangu, here to propose the motion that states that a one-party state will curb ethnicity. First and foremost, a reply to my opponents. You talked about the issue of projects and having someone for checks and balances. Our country right now, as we speak, it's a multi-party state. A group of youth in Kibera destroyed a part of the standard gauge railway that was to pass through Kibera. And you know why? Because they do not own this project. They do not feel this project is to help them. But in the real sense, it is to. But because whoever they do support or they claim to support is not the one initiating this project. Do we really want people not to own things that are to help them on the basis that my leader is not the one who's doing this for me, so I don't want this? I don't think so. On the issue, a one-party state will enhance cohesiveness in the country. This is because leaders from different regions in the country are gathered under the same bracket of the same party. And they will therefore pull the multitude that supports them and table what is best for everyone. For instance, today we have things we refer to as the Masai sheet, as the Kikuyu Kiondo, the Indian sari, the Samburu Akalas. But I am disappointed that I have to call them the Masai sheet. Why can't I just say a Kenyan Kikoi? Why can't I just say a Kenyan Kiondo? But because we have a multi-party state, and I believe as a Kikuyu, the Kiondo is ours, this is not right. I want to be in a country, we are the youth, we need a country that we say this is a Kenyan thing. It's not a Kikuyu, it's not a Luya, it's not anything, it's Kenyan. Because that's the only way we can develop and move forward. We as the leaders of tomorrow have the buck stops with us and starts with us. We have to take the initiative and end what is going on in our country. And this is by stopping the issue of believing that we are only represented if we have many parties and each of our leaders are there. No. We should have the people who are best for us. And this is sometimes not allowed in a multi-party state. Because most multi-parties, it's majority who wins. But sincerely, as much as majority wins, is majority always right? Is majority always correct? Or does majority try to dictate what we should do? On the issue, we have issues that if you have a government that is on one party, we won't have leaders inciting the people that support them to go against the people in government because they are also in government. And I bet this is what we want, because our leaders incite us negatively at times in a multi-party state. And I doubt this incitement has taken Kenya places. We have all experienced and seen instances of this country being at the bottom hole during the 2007. I doubt any of us would want this repeated. Thank you.
Limuru girls, you have 3 minutes for your cross-examinations.
Blessed. This is the only word that I have to describe the beauty that is Kenya. Despite our differences in our cultures, tribes, and beliefs, we're still united
as one nation. Yes, according to the first proposal, the ethnic groups are used as divisions in forming the political parties that you have in our country. But that is an advantage. If you ask me, I will tell you. Under a one-party state, there is pursuit of personal interest. But under a multi-party state system, we have every single ethnic group represented, and among them, the specific and original challenges that face particular ethnic groups are looked into. An example, India, which was formerly a single-party state, this method failed because we had many breakaways from the Indian National Congress, where these people broke away because they felt that their personal interests were not being looked into. Also, multi-party state systems brings a lot of experiences into administration, in that we have new manifestos. We don't have to live under the monotony of the same policies year in and year out. And according to the second proposal, it said that majority always wins in the cases of multi-party state system. I beg to disagree with that. If you ask me, under a one-party state system, that is when we have the majority being favored, because the leader is tempted to have all the facilities taken to their own ethnic groups, where they feel that that is the place where they have more development. The kind of Moi regime where we had in Rift Valley, the farmers were given tractors. What happened to the other ethnic groups in the country? We have violence, fighting, fueled feuds, and people lack to understand each other. Third, it pays to be open-minded. Did you know that, apart from the political status of a nation, there are many other factors that contribute to the presence of ethnicity in a society? Take a look at the cultural differences, land disputes. The 26th January 2006 remains a day that is encrypted in my mind. That night, a family with place and status in the society was made destitute. I, Cynthia McKenna, was living in Bomet, and here we were caught up between a land dispute between the neighboring communities, and we had to relocate to our place. Do you think it is only the political status? Well, I don't. Therefore, I support multipartyism.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register. The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
Thank you, audience, for your questions. The proposers have been asked if we have a one-party state, who will keep the government in check? And the opposition have been asked, since they say that one-party states have tribalism, will that effect not be countered by devolution where there is representation at the county level? We'll have them respond now. Proposal number 3, you have 3 minutes.
Lona Mwaura from St. Francis Girls Mangu is here to propose the motion that says a one-party state will curb ethnicity. Now to answer our question, who will keep the government on their toes? Remember, this one-party state is formed by all people from the ethnic backgrounds. So everyone's opinions will matter. They will come to a consensus and they'll reach an agreement, and which will bring development to that country. In the current multi-party system that we have in our country, most of the time, the opposition, they don't talk about the development that the current government is bringing. They talk about their ethnicity. Remember, a one-party state will try to curb the ethnic backgrounds that will think they have superiority over the state. So, to answer the question, it is that in a one-party state, each and everyone's views will be counted because their leaders will be representing them in that government. And to add points, like the second proposer said, that in Kibra, people destroyed the standard gauge railway line because it didn't come from the project was not initiated by the person whom they support. I would like to, that thing will bring disaster to our country. Development will start to stagger. I would like to give an example of China. It is a one-party state. It tries to bring development to all corners of the country. And remember, it is overpopulated. The China people in 2007 began the project of bringing high-speed trains in their country. And by 2013, they had the best railway line in the whole world. They had the first high-speed trains in the whole world, better than even South Africa. What the second opposer said about tyranny of numbers. Remember, in a one-party state, we'll all be choosing for someone who has the competence of guiding this country, of bringing development to this country. But in a multi-party system, they'll be choosing someone from their ethnic background, and remember, the superiority, that matters a lot to them. They feel that they should be the kings of that country, and this will bring staggering development to our nation. So I think a one-party state will really curb ethnicity. Think about that.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond.
There is beauty in diversity. Strongly opposing the motion that states a one-party state will curb ethnicity, Maureen Mukami from Limuru Girls School. To answer my brother's question, devolution will not necessarily curb ethnicity. Inasmuch as we tend to think that devolution will bring about the fair distribution of resources among people, we tend to overlook the fact that there are money-hungry people out there who are out there just for their personal interest. And since the devolution will employ more people, there will be more people to siphon money into their already bulging pockets. A one-party state will bring about inequitable distribution of resources. This will be brought about by the leaders' partiality for their tribe. This is brought about, research has proven that during the second president of Kenya, President Moi's era, there was improvement in economic development in the Rift Valley region. Inasmuch as economic development is commended, the conflict will be brought about whereby there is no equal distribution of resources. A region like the northeastern region, for example, could not even boast of an inch of tarmac road until recently. When I was a kid, my father used to bring home a bar of chocolate, and he used to give my brother 10 pieces and I'd get 5. Of course, I'd get angry, but there's nothing I could do about it. As time went by, I grew angry. So one day we fought about it. And my father asked me why we fought about a piece of chocolate. And I came out and said the plain truth. Aren't we all children in the same family? Don't we all deserve the same things? We are a family as Kenya. People should get equal distribution of resources. Also, a one-party state will bring about centralization of power. Kenya is a rich and diverse heritage where we accommodate various communities and tribes. And inasmuch as we have the diversity in us, we all have different leadership skills. When you compress all these communities into one leadership and one leadership umbrella, we'll be forced to adapt to a system we are not used to. My community's meat may be yours poison. So in as much as we want one-party state, we have to realize that the leadership skills may not apply for the different communities. And thus, will not only harbor bitterness among the people, but will also improve ethnicity. Thank you.
Proposers, you have 1 minute to make your final submission.
My dear friends, we have a war to fight. Winston Churchill once said, "He will not tire or get weary, neither will he weaken nor falter." This was during the Second World War, and we're also in a war. And our war is on ignorance. Ignorance that has robbed us of many lives in the past election chaoses that happen after elections. I guess it's high time, and it's a wake-up call to us all, especially us the youth who are here, that elections or our leaders should not be based on their ethnic groupings, but based on their competence and their ideologies, on what they have to offer us. I don't think we should. It's been for far too long we've been used as goons by specific politicians from several parties, that this is my crowd, these are my people, they will support me no matter what. That should not be the way. I support you if you offering me something good. Because at the end of the day, we are the leaders of tomorrow. Let us wake up and embrace the fact that ideologies and not ethnic groupings should base our elections. Thank you.
The opposition, you have 1 minute to make your final submission.
Once again, Stephanie Mungai, I'm stating my final point. We gravitate towards our most dominant thoughts. And therefore, as we tackle this motion, it is imperative that we find a solution to this problem. We need to be having formation of parties not along tribal lines, but along the issues that are affecting the country. For example, we should address other issues which are ailing our country. For example, by emulating Indonesia. They have very little ethnic conflicts, and therefore their focus is more on development. And therefore, it's a wake-up call to Kenyans to take up their arms and embrace unity and embrace multipartism and leave one-partism as it is not curbing ethnicity in any way. And therefore, I ask and I urge all of you to support me in opposing the motion. One party will not curb ethnicity. Thank you.
St. Francis Mangu, I think you fairly, gave your views. I'm not fully convinced, but of course in a debate, you want to try as much as you can to win us. So, Lena, I like the emotional appeal when you came to speak to us about your friend, Muthoni. But I feel like you did not have enough time to bring forth your case, because after defining and after now bringing the example, now it was time now to build your case, but the bell went. So I think you just need to work on managing your time so that now you can at least deliver within the 3 minutes as much as you can. Good speaker though, and very confident. Same case to Benedict. Well done, that's what I wrote. And Lorna as well, good attempt in answering of questions. I think the only assumption that I think was risky on your end was trying to say that, one party state doesn't have opposition. It has opposition, okay?
Essentially, what the motion was about is that you were either to oppose the motion that a one-party state does not curb ethnicity, and that is what Limuru girls were to do, and then point us to this is why it doesn't, okay? And then this is what will actually curb negative ethnicity. So those are the things that you needed to draw us to. And I did not feel that, I feel as if that was properly executed. And then again, not all multi-party states rise that way because of the ethnic groups that are there in that particular location. So you can have multi-party states that are not divided along ethnic lines. And there, it could be questions of ideology, for example, that make people form different, political parties.
straight to the results. Limuru girls, you were awarded 64%. Please give them a round of applause. St. Francis Girls Mangu, you were awarded 66%. They are our winners for the debate.
Thank you to both teams for a wonderful debate, and thank you, the audience at home and here with us, for joining us and making time for the show. Follow us on all our social media platforms and interact with us. Keep the conversation going even beyond this debate. I am your host, Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yumbok. Catch you next time.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.